Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Memphis Dynasty here on NCAA 12, one of the underrated NCAA games that we have going on. We are out here and we're 4-2, so we're having a good season yet again. But we got to go on the road to take on the UConn Huskies. Now, this UConn team is not ranked in the top 25, but they're a decent squad, 3-3 overall on the year, and they are a little bit better than us on paper. They're B-minuses across the board, where we're CCD plus ourselves. But in spite of all that, Herb streak is going to be rolling with us because we do have that 2-0 conference record, and we're still searching for our first conference championship in the school's history. So hopefully we can come out here and get a little bit closer to that objective so that we can add something to the trophy case. However, a big caveat in this game, though, and really for the rest of the season, is Justin Brown did strain his back in our previous game against Michigan State. So he's out for 9 weeks. He's definitely going to be done for the regular season. We may get him back for the bowl game, but that's not even 100% guaranteed. So who's going to step up for Justin Brown? And for that answer, it looks like it's going to be Tufington, the junior redshirt, that is going to get the lion's share of the carries. But senior Atkinson, he is going to get some love, get some appearances here as well. Look for him to get some more touches here in the second half of the season as well. But with that being said, guys, I hope you are very excited about this episode. If you are, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new. Let's go ahead and jump onto the field and see if we can take care of business against the UConn Huskies. Let's get it. Alright, boys, so let's see how our offense does without our star in our first drive of the game. As we'll start things out with a simple speed option, but we put the ball on the ground. Yo, you gotta be kidding me right now. We cannot do that against a team like UConn. And if this keeps up for the whole day, we could be in some pretty big trouble. Especially because UConn starts out in the red zone. Not how we wanted to start this game. So we really need our defense to step up here if we want to make sure that they do not come away with any points on this drive. Or at least, bare minimum, keep them out of the end zone. We'll see if our defense can rise up to this early call, as we did force yet another incompletion there. So that's going to make it 3rd and long. We'll see if our defense can hold it down. Looks like they're going to go into a 5-wide set, dropping back, looking towards the end zone, but it's intercepted. Eddie Davis got his hands on the ball, and now he's going to try to take it out. He's across the 25 and eventually gets brought down at around the 30-yard line. So a net return of 10 yards versus just going ahead and maybe taking a knee in the back of the end zone. So we're glad we take that, man, especially with how we started this game. Now we really need our offense to come through here. Let's see if we can get some plays downfield as we come in on a 2nd and 7 coming up. Bell has got some time to throw the football. Finds Tufington, and Tufington wide but naked open. It's going to put us on the verge of field goal range already. Couple plays later, though, Bell's going to try to throw again over to the left-hand side. He had an open Chris Washington, but just overthrew him by a tad there. So another 3rd and long that we got to deal with. Let's see if we can pick it up, though, as Riley Bell drops back the pass. He looks over to the right-hand side. He finds Jamarcus Mitchell, and Jamarcus Mitchell will do the rest of the work as well. And all of a sudden, we find ourselves in the red zone too. Looking for our first points of the game, but we almost threw it all away, as that was right in the hands of 54 there. He nearly intercepted that pass. Probably should, to be honest. And now it's 3rd and 7. Bell dropping back, looking over the middle, has IT Thomas. And IT Thomas is going to silence the UConn crowd as he finds his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Memphis. And the Tigers are going to strike first. We will go ahead and give ourselves a 7-0 lead. So now the UConn offense comes out onto the field, starting out in the red zone, but turnover putting those hopes and dreams over with, as UConn's going to try to put points on the board themselves. They're going to try to respond to the touchdown that we recently scored ourselves, and not a great way to respond to that as Willie Mason grabs onto the face mask, and that gives, in addition to that big play that they already got, they also get a 15-yard penalty tacked onto it. So an even bigger game for the UConn Huskies as they look to score on this drive. Very close to making that happen, by the way, as they do convert the 3rd and 6. And now we're looking at 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. An interesting spot for our guys to be in right now. 1st and goal, looking around, looks over the middle of the field and finds his receiver. And just like that, UConn is going to answer back, and they will put points up on the scoreboard as well. We will have ourselves a tie ball game here in this first quarter of action. So now we come back out with our defense, actually, because we did go 3 and out. But late in the first quarter, though, going to try to throw out of the end zone, but a couple of missed tackles gives them the breathing room that they desperately needed, because they were starting inside the 5-yard line. That's always a scary proposition for any offensive coordinator, right? So 1st and 10 coming up for the UConn Huskies right now as they'll move Reed out into motion. They will pass the football yet again. Got some time to work with, at least initially, but that clock is going to run out as Coleman gets in there and lays the lumber. Now making it 2nd and 18, but they will pick those yards back up. However, they are still going to be looking at a 3rd and long. This is going to be a 3rd and 9 from about the 15-yard line. UConn passing yet again, looking down the middle of the field. It's got a seam receiver. Throws it right in between a couple of our custom guys, man. You hate to see it. And that will mean that the Huskies will continue their drive. And honestly, they are dotting us up really well right now. Just some great passes that this quarterback is throwing at the moment. And it's giving us some serious problems that we're just having a hard time dealing with at the moment. But we do come back out here 1st and 10. This time, another red zone opportunity. 3rd time already for UConn. It's still only the first quarter, but we will at least force that incompletion. Because of that incompletion, that now makes it 3rd and long after a failed run down the left-hand side. 3rd and 13 now coming up as Reed does get moved to motion on the right-hand side. Originally trips to the left. We'll see if this quarterback snaps the ball. He does right before the end of the first quarter. Got a little bit of time and finds his receiver, who runs his way into the end zone. And that will be yet another touchdown for UConn Huskies. And not what we were looking for necessarily, as that pass just too easy, getting a little bit fooled there on the wheel route. And that's going to wrap up our first quarter. We're down 14-7 already, and this UConn offense shows no signs of slowing down, at least as of right now, because going into that second quarter, well, we end up going 3 and out yet again. So we're in a pretty rough spot at the moment. Really need our defense to step in here. Make sure that this game in particular does in fact remain a one-possession game, as they will go with a toss play on the left-hand side. Breaks a couple of tackles. Did not break a 3rd one. Eddie Davis had to step in and really be that last line of defense. If he found a way to break that tackle as well, he could have been off to the races. This is turning into a premium play action situation. They will straight up pass the ball instead. Still ends up being completed yet again. And you know what that means? Yet another red zone opportunity for the UConn Huskies. This is already their 4th time in the red zone. They've been moving the ball extremely well so far. As they'll resume things with a 1st and 10 pass here. As quarterback's going to run out of time yet again as Coleman is going to get his 2nd sack of the game. And that was a really big stack as that could stymie the momentum of the UConn offense. 3rd and 18 though. This time a lot more time to throw this football. Throws downfield and that pass was completed. However, what ended up happening there, receiver did not have any hands in bounds, unfortunately. So because of that, because he couldn't get with the 10 toes down movement, that's going to officially force this field goal attempt. And that helps. That takes 7 points off the board, essentially, because that field goal attempt is no good. But we really need our offense to come through here as we try to tie this game up. Following the missed field goal attempt, we'll start things out by throwing the ball down to Steve Bell, our tight end, who's a little bit more of a blocking tight end than a receiving tight end. He's definitely a hunky dude, but not the greatest pass catcher, though. As we're going to go with a automatic quarter running back blast here. A little bit of wildcat action here. And that's going to be to Tufington. That's going to pick up the 1st down on the ground. Definitely a hard-earned 1st down. UConn has been making things quite difficult for us so far. So maybe we can soften them up a little bit with play action. But Riley Bell does not have time to throw the ball. And that is a tragedy. Because, man, we had multiple receivers open there. That could have been a massive play. Just could not get the time that we were looking for. However, Riley Bell is a mobile quarterback. So we'll just go ahead and slide down with him. Picks up a lot of yards on that run. 17-yard run. But we're going to use him as a decoy, though, because we're going back to that halfback blast. However, UConn was ready for it this time around, as we do have to go ahead and punt this football away once more. So still down 14-7 as we're getting into the final few minutes here of this first half of action. As we're looking at Jones getting moved to motion. Could be a run for Hill. No, it's a play action. We've been bamboozled down the sideline. And it's nearly a 1st down. Making this attempted 3rd down conversion a lot more manageable. Only need to pick up a couple of yards in order to keep this drive alive. Don't know if they'll go for it here at this point in the game. As play action, looking over the middle of the field, finds his receiver as Josh Meadows has to come in there, make the tackle. Unfortunately, that will not be enough to jar that football loose. So UConn again gets another critical play here on 3rd down. That will keep the drive alive for them. Speaking of keeping the drive alive, another completed pass play that once again gets the UConn Huskies back in the red zone. They've been doing whatever they want between the 20s. However, when they've gotten into the red zone, we have done a better job of bending but not breaking. We'll see if that happens here too on their 5th attempt as they try to throw over the middle of the field. And that is also going to be incomplete, as it does seem like Josh Meadows had a hand in that. So now, 2nd and 10, as it gives us a chance to get some of our subs into the game. And the subs get exposed here. That is the strength of the no-huddle offense. It tires your guys faster on that defensive end. And it provides plays like that. The backups getting overwhelmed by the UConn offensive line. And with 2 minutes left to play here in this first half, we're down by multiple possessions. So again, a really big drive here to try to cut this down back to a 1-possession game before we do go into that halftime locker room. We'll see if we can make that happen as we have a 3rd and 5 coming up. We are going to move our tight end custom Deontay Bryden into the motion as we're looking down the middle of the field, but it's intercepted. The pressure on Riley Bell, he was certainly feeling it, as that's going to be our 2nd turnover in the first half for this offense. Whenever you turn the ball over more times than what you end up scoring in terms of touchdowns, not a good look there at all. down by 2 possessions. And this really is, if there's a moment where this game could get out of control, this is the moment right here. Big time spot for our defense. Gotta keep them out of the end zone yet again as they toss it out to the right hand side. Breaks one tackle, breaks the second one. Matt Scales can't bring him down either. Eventually Nate Coleman has to force him out of bounds. But it keeps the timeouts for UConn though. They still have all 3 to work with. It's 1st and 10. Looking down the left hand side. Does not get into the end zone, but draws a little bit closer as AJ Kaysen does make that tackle. That will be a 6-yard gain on that one. So now 2nd and 4 coming up as they try to throw it to the right hand side, but Nugent gets the interception. We will run it out of the end zone that time around. Big time play for our defender, as this defense is doing everything that it can to keep us in this football game. But in spite of a couple of bright spots, it has been UConn that has firmly been in control so far. They have held the advantage, and it shows on the scoreboard as well. They will carry a 21-7 lead into the halftime locker room. So now we go into that second half of action, and the second half actually starts out pretty well for us. So I usually sim special teams for us here, as you know, most of the time nothing too crazy. I have a bunch of touchbacks, whatever, and it makes it a little bit harder on me because we are a kick return specialist in the NCAA games, right? Y'all seen it if you've been watching the channel for a while. But that being said, we got this down to a 1-possession game, and after forcing a punt, we actually got a chance to tie this game. So coming out of the locker room, it seems like we came out better prepared and we did a better job making some adjustments. Speaking of those adjustments, one thing that I want to do is get the ball in the hands of Tufington and our receivers more often, because they can make some things happen here in the open field, just like this. Chris Washington down the sideline. No one's going to catch him from behind, and he's going to be gone. Like a girl in a country song, touchdown Tigers. And just like that, does not take very long to seize momentum in this beautiful game that certainly is college football. And we're all knotted up at 21 apiece. We're looking pretty good here thus far. So let's see if we can get another defensive stop so that we can possibly mess around and take the lead right now. That would be something I would certainly love to do at this moment. But UConn might have some other things to say about that, though, as UConn will go right back into their no-huddle offense. 1st and 10 following the first down completion as we got to run to the left-hand side. One broken tackle. It looks like Eddie Davis has to come in there and cleans things up, but a good run there over on the left-hand side, as that will make it a 9-yard gain. As again, they'll pass here on 2nd and short. Looking over to the left-hand side. Got a receiver down the sideline. Daniel has to push him out of bounds. But again, another red zone opportunity for UConn. They have been living in the red zone all day long. 3rd and 5. Looking over to the left-hand side. And a broken tackle later gives UConn the lead once again with 5:34 left to play here in this first half of action. And some broken tackles, unfortunately, gives UConn the lead yet again. So we did score on a big touchdown run on our previous drive, though. So our offense is looking pretty darn good at the moment. But let's see if we can match UConn's energy right now, as it's trending a little bit closer towards a shutout, or not a shutout, but a shootout is what I was trying to say. Wow, words are incredibly hard today, as Ali Atkinson is able to check into the game, and he's going to make the most of his opportunities. He'll pick up a first down for us, even though might be a little bit of a glitch here in NCAA 12. That guy probably should have reacted a little bit better to make the tackle, or force a turnover, something, but none of those things happen. We will pitch the ball yet again to Tufington on this 3rd and long, try to get them bamboozled, but this time around UConn was ready for it, and Once again, we have to punt the football away. It's either boom or bust with this offense, it seems like today. Down by a possession, though. We'll see if our defense can again keep it that way, as they're now looking at a 3rd and 5. Could be a run to the right-hand side. They hand the ball off, and looks like it's going to be an open run right up the middle of the field. That does give UConn yet another first down to work with, but after a couple of bad runs, we got them into a much longer 3rd down situation. 3rd and 14. Surely we can get them off the field here, but we don't. We give up the first down on a 3rd and long. Simply cannot have that happen. 3rd and 14, and we can't get them off the field. That's incredibly tough and incredibly demoralizing as well, as Robinson will move over to the right-hand side. Running back's going to check it back over to the left-hand side for, nice little spin move, nice little cut back as well, as that will be a 6-yard gain. Is now 2nd and 4 coming up as we're dropping back to pass, looking over in the middle of the field, and that was actually a nice little throw there. However, that being said, did not really get to the spot that he was looking for, per se. So, going to be another 3rd down again for UConn. 3rd time that we got him to a 3rd down, by the way. Maybe we can finally get him off the field. That would be really nice to see, as quarterback will drop back. He's going to look over to the left-hand side, and it's broken up. And that will possibly get the field goal unit out on the field. Going to be a really long field goal attempt. 53 yards this ends up being, and of course, does not get enough boot on it. He missed it line left anyway. It's just genuinely bad kick. I don't think he has the range for it, which always confuses me in terms of why we see these kickers, or like these coaches send out their kicker for a 50-plus yard field goal, if their kicker is not even capable of getting a 50-plus yard field goal, but they certainly are still capable of extending the lead. Dan Davis might be the last line of defense, but he can't get home. That's going to be a touchdown for UConn after, yet again, we end up going 3 and out. And that is going to end the 3rd quarter of action. And I'll tell you what, right now, we are certainly in a little bit of trouble at this moment. It's going to be 35-21 after 3 quarters. So now we jump into the 4th quarter of action, and we will jump in with 6:11 left to play, as both teams have just been trading these good old-fashioned, what you would call it, what's the word, free and outs. Free and outs is the word that I'm looking for, man. Like I said, we are on that struggle boat right now, boys. I'll tell you what, just like our defense is a little bit on the struggle bus right now, as, again, missed tackles, getting a lot more yards on the ground than really what they should be getting if we were competent at tackling the carrier of the football, right? But that's just not happening. Just keeping the legs moving, picking up yards after contact. And that's what can demoralize the defense, especially at this point in the game. Down by multiple possessions. Really UConn's best interest. So trying to run some of this clock out if they can. But Coleman almost gets to his quarterback. Lays the lumber on him anyway. Make sure he really feels his pain. And it's a big 3rd down here for this defense. Gotta keep them to a 2-score game. 3rd and 5. They're trying to run the screen. And the screen is successful for UConn. They bamboozle us, as that is going to be a morally declining gain there. Once again, giving a first down to UConn. And while they still are in their no-huddle offense as of right now, how much longer will they keep doing that? Because right now, like I said, they got the lead. And right now, they also have the ball in their hands, too. So, definitely a predicament that we got going on right now. As we'll see this quarterback drop back again, trying to get it out to the receiver. As that's going to be another more broken tackles. Josh Mills has to eventually come in and make sure that there isn't a touchdown scored there. But yeah, another red zone chance here. Certainly in field goal range. They score anymore. This could mean Johnny ball game. It is starting to get into that territory right now. If there's a moment to get this interception, I would love to see that interception happen right now, right? Let's see if we can get some clutch up right here, as they're going to actually try to run the football here. Almost. Do they get the first down? No, they do not. They do not pick up the first down, but it's going to be 3rd and short. Imagine that they will run this football again in the interest of trying to get time off the clock, and sure enough, they actually run it. There will be one broken tackle. There's another one, and that could possibly be the dagger. Not looking good for your Memphis Tigers right now. Going to be down by 21, and we only have half a quarter left to play. So needless to say, they're certainly going to need some miracles that need to happen before, if we want to somehow win this game. It starts with our passing attack that's been held pretty quiet all day long. Tufington will get himself out of bounds in the interest of trying to save a little bit of clock, as we'll get quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Bell again looking around, looking for somebody to get open. Chose not to throw the football away, which, not that it would matter, because they're going to call the holding penalty on Andy Whaley anyways. So that's now going to make it 1st and 20, as we're going to try to wait around and hope for somebody to get open, but just look around. Nobody open downfield. Probably should have tried to maybe scramble there a little bit, but Joseph Thomas is going to have to come into the game because Riley Bell actually has an MCL sprain. 3rd and 34, just hoping for the best. I do see that there's a single high safety, so maybe we can take a shot downfield. I'll lead the rest with the original routes so that we can dump the ball off if we need to. And Jamarcus Mitchell actually makes a pretty good attempt at trying to pick up that first down. He was definitely short. Still a 23-yard gain, though. Makes this 4th down a tad bit easier to pick up, but again, really need to come out here and pick up these sticks. 4th and 11, though. Thompson looking over to the left-hand side. Fires, and it's incomplete. The ball is going to be turned over. So UConn, they'll start running the clock down a little bit. And, well, if we force them to a 3 and out, they got a whole minute off. So now, just 2 minutes left. Still down by 3 possessions, by the way. And we still have our backup quarterback, because obviously MCL sprains. You really don't want to play with those knee injuries. So it looks like even if we somehow force overtime, it's going to be Joseph Thompson here for the remainder of this game. And we're going to see what the sophomore redshirt is made of. Does he indeed have that dog in him? Joseph Thompson gets his guys to the lines quickly with less than 2 minutes left. Looking around, got some space, looks over the middle of the field, and it's going to be incomplete. Trying to get it out to the tight end, Steve Bell, who just could not get enough separation there. As again, we're looking at another 2nd and 10, but look who gets open this time. It's Steve Bell down the middle of the field. Does he get caught from behind? Somehow he doesn't, even though he is certainly a very slow runner of the football. But Joseph Thompson is going to get himself a touchdown pass here in the meantime. Now we're just hoping and praying for some more miracles to happen so we can get this football back one more time. So we actually do get that miracle to happen, but we don't have any more timeouts to work with. I do notice that UConn is trying to press downfield, so we're actually going to go with a 5-vert set, and it works! Chris Washington's going to get open too. 38 seconds left, and now we're moving. Quickly trying to get set up here on this 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Going to try to set up the middle slant pattern here for our guys. Waiting for Joseph Thompson to be ready so that he can snap the ball. He will snap quickly. Thompson looks around, but gets sacked in the backfield. Last thing that you wanted to see there. And we just got to keep going downfield. Now the clock is really ticking as well. You don't want to see that. Less than 30 seconds. 23 seconds left to go, too. Thompson looks around, fires down the middle of the field. He had Tufington open, but it's incomplete, unfortunately. So now it's 3rd and 19. Trying to press downfield, looking for an answer. Looks down the middle of the field, wanted IT Thomas, but not a good pass there. 4th and 19 coming all of a sudden. Our last gasp of air for the Memphis Tigers. Joseph dropping back, looks to the right hand side and finds Jamarcus Mitchell. Not in the end zone, no, but it will at least be a 1st down. And you know, if we can score on this play here, who knows? Get the onside kick. Could still see a miracle happen, but it's an incomplete pass. So now it's down to 8 seconds. Joseph Thompson gets himself off the ground. We're going to just try to set up the screen with Tufington. Tufington is all by himself. We dump it off to him, and he will find the end zone. So it's a nice late surge here, but there's less than 5 seconds left. So this onside kick that we're about to do, it's going to determine if we'll have a shot to come out here and throw for the win. Here we go with the onside kick. Tommy Watt with the onside, but it's not going to happen. Just hit the ball wrong there, and it was an incredible comeback opportunity for Memphis. But unfortunately, both onside kicks. We tried another onside kick as well on the drive before our last touchdown, but it just doesn't happen that way. It just does. The cookie does not crumble in the way that we want it to crumble, and that's going to do it here. We are going to lose to UConn, and that is going to give us our first losing streak of the season, as we will lose a heartbreaker in Connecticut, 42-35. So with us losing yet again for the first time this season, we are on a 2-game winning streak. Not winning streak. No, we are on a losing streak right now. And at the quarterback position, we might have to ask ourselves some tough questions. Riley Bell, again, was not very productive in this one. 7 for 19, 104 yards, touchdown. Did throw an interception and also lose a fumble. But Joseph Thompson come in the fourth quarter when Riley Bell got hurt, and he was decent. 6 for 12, 184 yards, threw 2 touchdown passes, and nearly led a comeback for us as well. However, in the running game, we really struggled to get that running game going, and that was a big reason why I think we lost this game. Chris Washington had our lone big run of the day. He had a 70-yard touchdown, and that was the biggest run that we had in this whole thing. For the receivers, we really struggle to get open. I think that's also what's not helping. We don't have receivers that can consistently separate at this point. We do have Tufington find the end zone, as well as Steve Bell, who's our senior tight end, on top of It Thomas, who had 2 catches for 16 yards. But the leading receiver in this one was Jamarcus Mitchell, who had 4 catches and 72 yards in this one. Now, what's not helping any of this is that we actually do have a defense that gave up a lot of points in this one. There was some bright spots, but AJ Kaysen led the team in tackles with 9 solo tackles. Eric Davis had 7 solos in this one. We even got to the quarterback plenty of times today. Nate Coleman in particular, he was all over them, had a few sacks, 2 of them within that first quarter and a half, so he was extremely disruptive. Pat Taylor got a sack, as did Chase Gentry. We did also have some half sacks in there as well. Matt Scales combined for a sack, and then there was someone else that had half a sack, and it was Josh Meadows that contributed in that department. But we did force a couple of turnovers. Eric Davis got an interception, and then we saw LaRue Nugent also get an interception as well in this one. But a lot of missed tackles led to a lot of points, and giving up a lot of points is a big reason as well why we lost this game yet again. But even though we took a tough loss against UConn, we still got some pretty nice recruiting news that I am pretty excited about. We signed yet another 4-star in this class, and Brian Ferwerda, he's going to be the number 15 overall quarterback in this class. He's a scrambler, and he's right here in Tennessee too, so I'm really glad to bring him in to our football program as well. Someone that definitely could be a starting quarterback for us. And then somebody that is going to also fill a need for us as well is Clarence Roberts. He's the 7th best fullback in this class from Adamsville, Alabama. Probably someone that will see playing time right away, given the need at the fullback position. But that is going to wrap things up here, as we're on a 2-game losing streak right now. And some things that we need to figure out. Do we stick with Riley Bell, or do we go to Joseph Thompson on the bench? Let me know about that in the comments section, and I'll be doing some soul searching myself. In the meantime, we'll prepare for the University of Southern Florida to come into town in a critical Big East Conference matchup. Can we break this losing streak, or will we go down all the way at 500? We'll find out in the next episode, but in the meantime, If you enjoyed today's content, make sure you go ahead and smack that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button as well if you happen to be brand new and enjoy that sports gaming yourself. This is definitely the channel for you. In the meantime, though, this is John J Gaming on the mic signing off. Hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.